Sam here from Applied Concepts. Today we have come up the country. Plenty
tight out spin up the country.
Absolutely, small little lanes. To Daniel and Lee from Toolz and Carz, or Toolz With Carz.
Yeah. Oh, you're all right. Sorry.
We got in contact with the lads 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we said, "Do you have anything that we could help you out with blasting?" And he had this lovely.
Put us under pressure.
We did. We wanted something good, and
we weren't ready for blasting.
We weren't.
We had to.
We had to make ourselves ready.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you kind of moved up the time frame a little bit on this Nova.
We had to make a couple of changes
Very rapidly.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for doing that.
No problem.
No problem.
We're very glad to be up here.
We're happy to accommodate you with it.
That's it. I've brought up an Applied Aquablaster. This is kind of our feature machine. This is our top of the line machine.
Yeah.
She's a wet blaster. So you would have done an awful lot of dry blasting before.
Yeah.
So
It
small
took an
little,
awful long time.
yeah, small little kind of Chinese gas bottle style pot. Yeah. Whereas this is going towards the more industrial side of things, industrial and commercial spec.
Yeah.
This 100 litre is 5 bags to fill it. Right, so you put 5 25 kilo bags in here, and this with a 175 CFM compressor. No, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but I'm kind of going to say about maybe 2.5 hours or so.
Okay.
A lot quicker than what it would take.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is quick.
There is an awful lot of straps and little corners and panels and stuff, so we'll see how that goes. But the majority of it would be done in 2 hours. All the big panels and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because that would normally take us, like, to do that car, because we're only out here like two nights a week. That would take us
Oh, it'll take 3 weeks.
2-3 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
To do that.
So what we were doing was we were wire wheeling first.
Yes.
And then sandblasting afterwards.
Okay.
Because our sandblast wasn't strong enough to take this off.
Yes.
Yeah. And sure, it was taking, it was torture.
Absolutely. Okay.
It was hard work now, so it was.
And good thing is, majority of it's good enough panels, and there isn't.
It's all solid. There's no welding.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the cars here that needs the least amount of welding.
Good.
So it does. So should make it easier for you, hopefully.
So we have done an awful lot of work on stuff that is really, really brittle, especially the old vintage cars where the panels are not exactly easy to come by, and you want to keep everything as original as possible. Yeah. She actually does low pressure blasting as well.
Oh,
so you can do aluminium, and you can do a lot of the softer stuff.
Yeah,
so you can go down in pressure, bring down the pressure 2-3 bar rather than blasting at 7 bar, and do it really, really slowly.
And you could you do the likes of gearbox casings?
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff with that. Heads, blocks, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of motorbike stuff, all the aluminium, all the alloyed stuff, all of that you can do at low pressure. Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been too strong for that.
Yeah, that would have blasted.
And heat generation is a big thing then with dry blasting as well. So especially in the aluminium and the alloys. So the water then cools that at the same time. Now, of course, the water's main thing in this machine is dustless. So I'm going to be wearing a grinding shield, like a full face grinding shield, and the water will suppress the dust that's coming off it, and the abrasive won't bounce off the steel as much. So we'll only get a 2 or 3 meter little area coming around the car. So we're not going to have cover the cars.
Yeah, because dry blasting
everywhere. You used to be emptying your ears for.
I still have my pockets are still full with your glass.
You wouldn't believe you wouldn't believe the amount of phones I have ruined from having my phone in my pocket and being around these machines for the last couple of years. Yeah. So no, absolutely.
This is going to make a big difference to that. And
yes. Yes, and especially with this weather, we might get a little bit of a shower off.
We might get I might standing close to you as well. You could see
stand on the fringe of it, maybe.
Yeah. The only thing is, I've brought a 175 diesel with me, so that's kind of like our mid-range size compressor.
Yeah.
We'll show that camera as well, or that compressor as well. But that's our kind of most common size compressor that we would sell, and kind of goes perfect with this.
Pairs well with the rod.
Don't need a trailer license to pull it. There's a nice 4-cylinder Perkins in it. It's brilliant. Nice handy side machine.
Very good.
I think I'll start, and then maybe after an hour or so you
stand in nice and close and get cooled down. Maybe
or you can have a go yourselves as well.
We're gonna go after it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Get a feel for it.
So we'll start everything up, and we'll get
going.
Yeah,
all right. No bother.
So we had an interesting, probably 3 or 4 hours at this stage. I was well off with my 2.5.
We stopped for lunch. To be fair,
We have to give yourself a lunch break.
We did stop for lunch.
We had a chicken fillet roll.
We did. The what do you call that coating?
What's bed liner?
Yes, bed liner. I suppose in places it was probably 4 or 5 mil thick, and the nature of it kind of being a bit rubberized, the glass kind of bounced off it, so it was a bit tedious and slow coming off. But I mean, the paint came off like there's no tomorrow.
But even when you got to the back floor pan here, you'd notice there was less of the bed liner here than there was up here. I noticed you were a lot quicker to get through this.
Yeah. This was a rough set. That was very
a couple
rough.
of mil thick, but once you broke that surface area on it, it did burn
underneath it.
It burn through it. Yeah.
And strangely enough, there was none of it in the tunnel.
No, they never put in the tunnel because the exhaust get too hot, melt it.
Yes, that would make sense. Yeah.
As far as I know, that's why it is, anyways.
When you've sandblasted before, maybe that the same kind of finish on the steel?
Not as good as that. Definitely not as good as that. And definitely not as quick as that.
Well, look, I suppose that's the main thing. This, I suppose, the big thing with this coating, that profile, it's kind of like a 70 micron on the steel. So perfect for what a panel beater or a sprayer would want exactly for priming and paint. Your primer will probably look a little bit orange peely, which is brilliant because that's what you want then for putting the paint over. Yeah. You want a small bit of the trough still on it. Yeah. But that shiny speckly gives it, there's a good profile in there.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be spraying this. I'm gonna be priming this now tomorrow, and that is what it would be like from the factory. That is.
It's best than what you get in the factory.
Yeah.
So it is. It's actually, that's what Sam was saying earlier. Like you wouldn't even see that.
No. They wouldn't have gone to that extent.
And
it would have been polished or
flat.
True.
Yeah. And sure, the primer wouldn't have stuck to it half right or anything, and then the coating over it. That's probably why a lot of these older Corsa and stuff used to rust from the inside out.
Yeah.
So that is under the coating.
And not too many rust surprises.
You blew a few for me. So
I did. I must admit, I was doing this section here, and there was only one little hole, and then all of a sudden that hole appeared, and that hole, and it just got bigger and bigger.
I seen you were blowing that, and I caught you. You looked over, you glanced over to see if we were watching. Don't worry, I seen you.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to get the welder out on this one again too.
Absolutely, yeah.
But look, the great thing about what you've done here today is you wouldn't have seen them.
No.
Yeah.
If we had just wire wheeled that, you would never have seen them. Not even these. And then you'd have a beautiful finish done underneath it with your prime or your bed liner and everything. And then in 3 or 4 years' time, it'll bubble and chipped off it because there was rust coming from inside out. So, like, I'm glad that we found the holes that we did find in it now because they're going to be treated and sorted properly.
And it's nice and prepared for welding. You don't have to go grinding or all the rest of it.
Exactly.
The amount of time that this has saved us is weeks worth of time.
Weeks.
It is.
Oh, weeks. Weeks. Yeah. In comparison to when I done the Galanza that I was showing you in the garage earlier, like I think I on my own, because that was before Daniel was away, I think I could have been 7 or 8 weeks at that.
Yeah.
And you've done this in half a day.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
A better finish on that.
Yeah, and look, and when you do the coating on the bottom, if you want to call me back and do the whole top out, I'll happily do that. Yeah.
We might just
take you up on that offer.
If I had been prepared enough today, I would have had it ready for it.
Oh no, but I think the time frame that it took us to do the bottom, about half of that for the whole top.
It's very easy paint to knock off.
I was watching even when you were doing this sill here, you just walk through it like this. Walk.
It's just one pass. You could probably do the whole sill in 30 seconds. Like exactly.
I just can't get over how quick it is.
Yeah, look, a lot of that boils down to the size of the compressor.
Well,
right?
That's it too.
So, and imagine you have a single phase electric compressor, it's probably only 20 CFM or so, right? Whereas,
16 hours.
16. So this is what I used was a 175, and she's going full 90%, 95% load, and we were using all of that. So no, that's how you get through it quickly. I constantly trying to explain volume of compressor to lads and how your volume equals your speed, and if you want to go up in nozzle size and you want to get a bigger pattern, you need a bigger compressor to run it. The unfortunate thing is we don't have 3-phase in a lot of places in Ireland, so we can't have big compressors, so you're stuck with the diesels. Yeah.
Great to get it done, Sam. So it looks a lot better than it did anyways.
You never know, I might twist your arm into buying an Aquablaster soon.
Yeah, you absolutely will. Don't worry about that.
There was a couple of times when either one of us would walk up to each other and just be like, we're going to have to start saving a few pounds to get one of these machines.
We need one of these machines.
We do need one of these machines.
Because, like, just in terms of time, like, it makes such a difference to us to be able to do that so quicker. Like,
ye have limited enough time.
Very limited time.
2 days a week, that's all we get. So,
yeah. If you could take one day to blast and then the second day to prime, it would be fantastic.
And then if we were to, well, when we do buy one of the machines off you as well, like, you'll do every cow.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier. Every cow that comes in for restoration will go on a spit. You'll do that. You do the whole body.
Yeah. But even the touch-ups that you would, let's say if you were just doing a sill, very easy blast the section of the sill so it's perfect. You can see what's happening.
Yeah. And then it's perfect to weld on.
Yeah.
Like the most important thing for welding is clean steel.
Exactly. You wouldn't see this.
No.
Right. Yeah. That you'd now going to cut out that whole patch, right? But whereas before you only have a tiny little hole, you probably wouldn't have seen it.
No. Yeah. And then 12 months or 2 years down the line, you have a bubble in it. Yeah. So no, it's perfect. So it's I'm lost for words really to do it.
Oh, that's good, absolutely. And I'll happily come back to you anyway, lads. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks very much.
No. Thank you for putting something in front of me.
Oh, don't worry. You can just sleep in the back of the van. We put lots of stuff in front of you.
There's plenty to do.
There's plenty to do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I suppose if you're interested in our Aquablaster or any diesel compressors, you can give us a call on 057 913 7929, or you can email sales@appliedpi.com.